guys? Welcome once again to this episode. It's your go-to code guy Wisdom. And in this episode, we're going to continue with the for loop. Looking back at the last episode, it was kind of complex, so I'm going to create a duplicate or an example program again. A simpler one this time to help us understand what we did in the last episode better. Okay, so let's create this program now. Say for, remember, small letter for a, any variable, maybe b, maybe c, I, anything, but I prefer to use a. For a in range 1, okay, follow me closely. We want this to occur. Remember the indentation? We have 4 spaces, right? For a in range 1, we want Python to print out a once, okay? So it's a string. Then we take this back, okay, to say for a in range 2, we want the colon after that. Don't forget the colon indented. Say we want Python to print 2 times. Sorry, we want Python to print twice b, okay. And then we also want take that back to for a in range 3 colon, we want Python to print out C. Or C. And then finally, we want the program to end by Python printing out just 1D. Okay. So in the first line, see for A in range 1, that is once, whatever that happened next or after this line, whatever that happened after the first line here should be printed out once. I wanted A, Python to print A, alphabet A once. Then the third line, we came out and say, okay, you remember this, you see this is not indented, okay? This is another thing. We want another thing to happen. So to say for A in range 2, we want Python indented to print out B. Okay, so B will be printed out twice. And then for A in range 3, in the fifth line here, we want Python to print out C. That is, C should happen or should occur thrice. And then finally, we say Python print D. You see, it's not indented. Okay, Python print D. So when we run this by hitting on our little play button here, we see what happens. So it's straight one, it's a straight one. If you can look closely, you see it says A once, A was printed out once, B twice, C thrice, and then D just once. Okay, so that is what we've been able to achieve here. So everything that comes under any indentation will be printed out. Okay, what if we wanted to say, okay, let's modify this program to say line 3 now, want something to be printed out also. Let's indent this to say Python print, also print Z. Python also print Z for us. So it will happen. What will happen here is it will print B Z B Z. Okay, because we want it to happen twice. Okay, let's see how this works now. So you see A, then B Z B Z, because that's what we want. In our program here, we see it should happen like twice, because see for A is a variable. Don't get that. Don't mistake yourself. A is a variable in range 2. Print B and Z. Print B and Z. So it's going to happen 2 times, just the way it is stated out here. Print B, print Z. Print B, print Z. Okay. Now, before we go, one more thing to show you that whatever this thing is, whatever the variable is, it will still work. Let's say in line 3, we wanted to change this to for I, or let's say F, very, 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 very strange alphabet, F. So for F in range 2, nothing happens. Python just needs something to be there, a variable to be there. However, the variable, whatever the variable is. So Python just wants it to be anything. We have F here, we can use L, anything, okay? So when we print this, it still returns the same, it's still going to return the same output. So we'll run this now. So it's still the same thing, nothing changes, okay? So you see A, B, Z, B, Z, C, 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 D, okay? So that's how it works. So whatever it is, it should just be a variable. It should just be an alphabet here. Okay, you can use any alphabet here for these variables, okay? So you see I changed this from A to F and it still worked. So I think with this, we now have a good foundation of the basics of how the for loop works. So if you're just seeing this episode, you should go over to you head over to the collection tab you're watching on TikTok, and then the playlist section on YouTube you're watching on YouTube. And then you check this out. Check we've made two videos just before this one, 2 or 3 videos. So to get a better understanding, you should see those ones. Okay, and on seeing this one, I believe everything will be clear. So that's it for this episode, guys. Have I missed out anything? Sure, I haven't. But if I have, I'll be in the comment section or the description. So, bye for now, guys.